After hosting Christmas, I opened my safe, my emergency cash gone. My dad said, "We gave it to your sister. She's starting a family." My hands were cold. I dialed my lawyer that night. The next morning, a few emails went out, certain accounts were reviewed. That afternoon, my sister called. "What did you do?" "I just said you might want to check your inbox." Christmas was supposed to be quiet this year. I hosted for once, not because I wanted to show off, but because I thought maybe if I brought the warmth, they'd remember how to hold it. I cooked, I cleaned, I bought gifts for nieces and nephews, who barely remembered my name. My dad sat at the head of the table like a statue in corduroy. My sister floated through the room, taking photos for her stories, and my mom, she was busy whispering behind folded napkins, too distracted to ask how I was. Doing no one thanked me, not for the food, not for the house, not even for letting them stay an extra 2 nights when their plumbing suddenly broke. I smiled through it, I let it go. I thought maybe if I didn't make it about me, they'd see me anyway. They didn't. It wasn't until everyone had left, when the last of the pine needles were vacuumed, and the wine glasses stacked in the dishwasher, that I went to check the safe. Not because I was worried, just habit, just something I did when the house emptied, and the silence crept in. The combination clicked softly, the door swung open, and the cash was gun emergency money, $14,000. Not retirement funds, not investment. Just safety, the kind of money you keep in case the world forgets you, and it had. I didn't panic, I didn't shout, I just stood there staring at the empty space. Like it might apologize. That's when my dad walked in, drying his hands on a dish towel like he lived here. "We gave it to your sister," he said flatly. "She's starting a family." My hands went cold. Not "we borrowed it," not "she needed help," not even a warning. They opened my safe, took my emergency cash, gave it away, and I didn't think I deserved to know. I didn't say anything, just walked to the hallway, sat on the bench by the coat rack and pulled out my phone. One call my lawyer answered on the second ring. "Evening." He said something wrong. I told him what happened. He paused, then said, "I'll start the paper trail tonight." I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. Hung up. The next hour was a blur. A few emails went out, certain accounts were reviewed, quiet things, cold things, nothing dramatic, not yet. That afternoon, my sister called. Her voice was sharp, frantic, already half crying. "What did you do?" I didn't raise my voice. I didn't even sigh. "You might want to check your inbox," I said, and hung up. She texted again, then. "Finally, you're blowing this out of proportion." It was just sitting there like emergency funds materialize out of air, like safes open themselves. I sat still, coffee gone. Cold laptop glowing quietly on my desk, email threads expanding by the minute. I wasn't replying yet. I was remembering not just this theft, but all of them. The safe wasn't a betrayal. It was confirmation of a pattern too deep to ignore, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. A week before her wedding, my card was charged $9,800. "You don't have a spouse or kids, might as well make yourself useful," the bridesmaids laughed. She smirked. I smiled back and replied, "Then I hope you find him useless real soon." They took the cash like it was air, and when I canceled everything, they called me vindictive. I'd covered the mortgage once, just a bridge payment. They said. Then I caught them buying patio furniture. A week later, I paid off her car loan in 2021. She posted a selfie the same day with the caption, "Nothing feels better than financial independence." She didn't even tag me every time I gave. They erased the origin every time. I stayed silent. They made it sound like they built the ladder themselves. I remembered my mom's voice when I offered to co-sign their refinance. "You're the only one we can count on." She said it like a compliment, but it was a sentence, and now this taking from the safe was the final footnote. I wasn't the son I was always expected to support, not to be seen. Every flashback hit with new clarity. Christmas Eve, my seat given to a neighbor. "You'll be fine in the kitchen." A Verzi dinner to those who actually matter. Backyard remodel, $12,400. Erased with the text, "Don't be dramatic. My sister's RSVP cards. My name is the return address. Her wedding. My credit line, the voicemail. From Dad, maybe it's better you don't come anymore. Every scene wasn't a moment, it was a data point. I ran the whole system. They just kept cashing the dividends, and the terrifying part, they weren't even hiding it anymore. They had become so comfortable using me, they stopped pretending I was part of it, and still some small part of me wanted them to stop before it was too late. I wasn't hoping for apology. I just wanted hesitation. One pause, one sign they knew they'd crossed a line, but no one even blinked. Not her, not him, not anyone. So I made a decision. No more flashbacks, no more patterns, no more polite sabotage. I was done being useful. I wasn't going to argue. I was going to move on and let them face the gaps they never noticed that night. After my sister's call, I didn't argue, I didn't explain, I didn't try to reclaim. What was taken, I reclaimed myself. The emails I sent after hanging up weren't impulsive, they were precise, a checklist I'd been mentally drafting for years without realizing it. The first one went to my lawyer. Prepare the formal disassociation papers. Remove me from all joint accounts. Start the asset protection review. The second, my financial advisor. Move all liquid assets into a protected trust. Immediate family excluded. The third, my accountant. Audit all family-linked payments for the past 5 years. Flag unauthorized ones. Prepared the supporting documents. It wasn't about revenge. It was about taking back my infrastructure. By midnight, I was logged into the back end of the small IT company I'd built from scratch, the same company that quietly ran my parents' home security systems, their cloud backups, their mobile plans, their accounting firm software licenses, all under my business umbrella, all free, all unacknowledged. I deactivated their cloud cameras first, then the automated locks, then the smart thermostat they bragged about at every family dinner. I rerouted the DNS configuration, disabling remote control of their home network. No more EACs to the Wi-Fi built for them. No more emergency troubleshooting when their printer went offline. Next, the shared family phone plan, 5 lines, mine, theirs, and my sister's. Didn't cancel. I transferred ownership of all lines to them. If they didn't accept, in 72 hours the service would suspend. They'd get the bill. No more free calls, no more me subsidizing the family's communication infrastructure. Then I remembered the streaming platforms. I stepped back from supporting their services and let them handle it on their own. It was this maliced thing, but it would sting. By morning, the text messages started rolling in. My sister: why are the security cameras offline? I can't log in. My dad: mortgage company called. What did you do? My mom: you're not seriously doing this, are you? I didn't reply to any of them. They weren't asking, they were demanding the system to come back online. But the system was me, and I was logging out. By noon they called. I didn't answer. I waited until the voicemail icon appeared. My dad's voice: let's resolve this calmly, let's talk like adults. Elod out loud. He always circled back to that line, talk like adults, after standing by while I was robbed. Sidelined, erased. By the evening, my sister messaged again. Netflix isn't working. Fix it, I replied. You said you didn't need me. No emoji, no punctuation, just fact. But I wasn't done. I logged into the back end of their accounting firm's IT system. They had no idea. I still had admin-level access. They thought I'd set it up years ago as a family favor and let it go. They didn't. No, I'd quietly maintain their firewall protections, software updates, and encrypted backups through my company. They didn't know the domain was registered under my name. I deactivated the software license. I sent a notice via their admin dashboard. Effective immediately, the pro bono maintenance of the system is terminated. Please contact your new IT provider to arrange service continuity. I logged out. I waited. 30 minutes later, the voicemails doubled. By morning, my uncle's clinic, also on my company's legacy infrastructure, called my personal line in a panic. The system was down. They couldn't access patient records. Billing software was offline. Everything that made their business run had been quietly supported by me. I didn't sabotage it. I didn't crash it. I simply removed the support. The digital scaffolding collapsed because they never built one of their own, my cousin. Ellie messaged me that afternoon, "Did you really pull everything?" I replied, "I pulled me the rest, fell on." It's owned she didn't ask anything else. Instead, she called. We talked for the first time in a year. She told me what. I already suspected that my parents had tried to spin the story, claiming I'd gone rogue, that I was mentally unwell, that I was jealous. Classic, but this time, Lee didn't buy it. She wasn't alone. I sent copies of the documentation to the family members, who mattered not out of spite, but out of precision. I didn't editorialize. I sent the audit logs. The payment records, the screenshots. Showing my name on the system architecture, I included a simple note. "I just want you to know the truth." No response necessary that night. My dad texted again, "You've made your point enough now," but it wasn't about making a point, it was about ending the pattern. I revoked access to the family storage unit, the one I'd quietly paid for the past 3 years, that held my dad's vintage tools and all the holiday decorations they loved to flaunt. Lease canceled, locks changed. I called the mortgage company. Next, removed myself as co-signer on their finance. The representative paused on the call. "You do understand this will likely trigger a foreclosure review?" she asked. Carefully, I understood. I confirmed the removal. 3 hours later, my mom texted the mortgage company, called, "Fix this, fix." Always that word. I didn't reply. I transferred all remaining funds in the shared emergency account to a new trust, locked, protected, accessible only by me. The messages became frantic. "My sister, you're overreacting. My mom's family is all you have." I stared at the last one for a while, then I typed back, "I had a family. I'm not in it anymore." I powered off my phone. The next day, I called my lawyer to initiate the process of legally disassociating from their business entities. I didn't want even residual liability. I wanted nothing that could tether me to their sinking infrastructure. My lawyer, always methodical, paused. "Do you want to send them a formal notice of severance?" He asked. "No." I said, "Let them feel the silence. Let them experience what it's like when the scaffolding disappears, when the person they built their system on simply walks out, when the calls went unanswered, when the passwords didn't work, when the safety net was gone." And for the first time, I didn't feel guilty, not for walking away, not for letting the structure collapse, not for finally stepping out from under the weight they made me carry. They didn't lose their son that day. They lost their system, and I wasn't reinstalling it. I woke up to my phone buzzing like it wouldn't stop. Not dozens, hundreds, calls, texts, voicemails piling up, all from the people I'd grown up calling family. They were in panic mode, and each message felt like a bullet. Mom's message, all caps, no punctuation. "What have you done? We're suffering. Please fix this before things get worse." Dad's voicemail was a rant. "Young, grateful after everything I did. You do this, I hope it was worth it." He left it on repeat. Sister's group text to relatives, "He's acting irrationally. He stepped back from all support. Do not trust him." It was marked urgent and had 12 blue check marks. They thought if they screamed loud enough, someone would break, but silence is the loudest accusation, and I'd mastered it that morning. I read the sequence, pressuring text from my sister, "Stop this, or I'll go public with private info," legal threats, lawyers representing my parents demanding of services and retracting trust transfers, emotional appeals, "Your nieces are scared. We're in deep. We need our home back." Everything I expected, predictable, systematic, yet they all started from one space: fear, fear of accountability, fear of losing what they took for granted. I didn't respond. I didn't debate. I observed. An hour later, my lawyer forwarded the official cease and desist from my sister's attorney, demanding I seize any disruption of services or face injunctive relief and unspecified consequences. He added, "They will sue if necessary." My lawyer's note was calm. "They can file. Let's see if they do. Your actions were legal, documented, justified." I leaned back, heart steady. The storm had begun, but storms Run out of thunder by mid-afternoon, the family was rallying allies. Uncle Chris, their banker friend, texted, "You know legal fees will bankrupt them. Think twice." Aja posted vague family values posts on Facebook, implying I was toxic, selfish, immature. They were collectively nervous. They tried playing the victim. They banded together, but I'd already released the docs. I uploaded a secured version of the audit. Logs and transcripts to a private legal Dropbox accessible only to a lawyer. Neutral party, every transaction, every account review, every email thread transparently. Logged, time-stamped, ready for discovery. Then the media started, well, not media, but rumor family acquaintances calling me for details. Friends telling me they received forwarded versions of our group chats. My world expanded into their gossip that evening. I saw the crescendo: mom's lawyer email demanding injunction, emergency compliance. Monetary damages, dad's tightly worded letter claiming emotional distress, reputational harm, breach of trust. They laid the blame entirely on me. They cloaked it in love. "We only did this for her start. We never meant to harm you." Classic spin there. Version: we gave the money. He exposed us in cold blood. Their pressure was mounting, but underneath it was absurd. They broke my safe, took my money, cut me off, and blamed me for rebelling. I glanced at the inbox full of demands. Then I forwarded everything to my lawyer and replied, under review. My next steps will be guided by counsel. Until then, I remain firm in my decision. The infrastructure is down. The trust is gone. I didn't add a signature. I didn't soften the tone because there was no room left for warmth. Later that night, my sister texted again. "If you really cared about this family, you wouldn't stoop to legal tactics. You just give back." I paused. I typed, "I gave everything." You took it twice, hit send, and then silence, not the electric looming silence of threat, but the absolute echoing void where connection used to be. Their voices faded, their systems lay dormant. Their defenses began to crack, but more importantly, they knew I wouldn't return to the old rules, the rules they'd written. Without asking me, Christmas lights sat unplugged in the basement, cameras offline, shared drives inaccessible. Checking my phone, there was no call, no text, no pleading left unseen. Becco's at the center of this storm wasn't anger, it was consequence. They created a system, I unraveled it, and now they face the fallout without even knowing how to build a new structure. Without me, they came to my door like they were arriving for a truce. All three of them, my mother, my father, my sister, standing on the porch, dressed like grief, not dressed for war, not dressed for apology. Just polished, practiced. Maya opened the door. She didn't invite them in. She just said, "You can stand there." I stayed seated. I could hear my mother's voice cracking before she even started speaking. "We didn't come to fight. We just want to talk." Maya stepped aside. Let the words hang in the air like smoke from a fire that had already burned the house. Down I looked up. Finally stood. Dad spoke first. "You look tired, son." I didn't answer. Mom took over, rehearsed in trembling weave, made mistakes. It was never supposed to go this far. You cut everything off. You didn't have to make it so final. Then she added at the line they'd all been building toward. "We need you." There it was, not "we miss you," not "we're sorry," just "need." Like I was still a utility, a feature, a fix. I stepped forward. Maya still beside me. "You don't need me. You need what I gave you, and that's gone." Dad's voice went hard. "This family falls apart without you." "That's not a family," I said. "That's a business model." Sister stepped forward, angry now. "So you're just going to throw everything away over what, one bad night?" I laughed once short. Cold. This wasn't one night. This was 2 decades. You treated me like backup, like infrastructure, like a fuzayu. Thought you could always reset, but the powers cut. Mom's voice cracked into real tears. "We didn't mean to hurt you. We were overwhelmed. We didn't know how much you did." I stared at her. That line, "we didn't know," it landed like a slap. "You didn't ask because you didn't care. It worked. That was enough." Dad tried again. "Quieter now. You're our son. We raised you. You owe us some humanity." No, I said. You raised me to believe I owed you everything you spent it. It's gone silence. The wind moved harder now. It was cold, sharp, like the truth. I took one step closer, so they had to hear every word. I didn't walk away because of money, I walked. Away because you never saw me just what I could provide. I looked at my sister last. You didn't just lose the perks, you lost connection then. I looked at all of them. You weren't cruel, you just didn't see me, and I'm done paying the price for it, Maya. Closed the door slowly behind them. They didn't knock again. I stood in that silence, and for the first time, didn't feel empty. It felt clean, clear, final. They didn't cry when they left. They didn't beg. They just stood there stunned because they realized the one thing they never expected, that I could leave, that I wouldn't come back, that I meant it.